Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Munce Report. Trainer Chris Munce is here to bring us up to speed with all the latest news. And we're also joined by a special guest this week in Apprentice, Olivia Webb. Welcome to you both, and thanks for joining us, Olivia. Good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, let's start with you. And I guess the reason why we're chatting with you, you've got a bit of history with the team, the Munce team, and you added to that history with your first winner for the stable as an apprentice during the week aboard Better Rush. That must have been quite a thrill. I think it was your 14th career winner.
Yeah. So Chris was my first boss in racing. I started there back in 2017, just as a stable hand, and then I went back to uni. But yeah, it was a big thrill getting to ride my first winner for Chris on my first ride for Chris.
Yeah, very good. So, and obviously the apprenticeship's sort of a more recent thing. So it all started for you as a stable hand with Munce Racing. Tell us about your journey from, there to where you are today and what you've done in between.
So I started as a stable hand, and I actually left racing and I went back to uni as I got offered a double degree in criminology and law. I got my spot in there, and then I began that. And so I'm a second year student, but I had to put that on hold when I started my apprenticeship last year in November. I started writing work at Doomben, and I got offered to start my apprenticeship there. And then I moved to Barry Lockwood's in January, and here I am today.
Very good. Yeah, well, obviously you'd be studying the law and the criminology. You'd be a handy person to have in the steward's room, no doubt. But I dare say you haven't had any protests or anything of that nature yet?
Yeah, no, not yet. I've been lucky enough to be safe enough to not be in there yet, but hopefully when the time comes, I'll have a little bit behind me.
Yeah, very good. And how are you enjoying it? Obviously, you said it was a thrill with riding Better Rush, and I guess obviously every winner at this point in your career would give you a real sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, it definitely does. Or everyone wants to ride winners, and it's a great feeling. I don't have much experience yet. I've only had around 59 rides, but every winner I've ridden just feels like this day I rode my first one. It's just a thrill, and we all want to do it, and it's the best feeling ever.
Well, great stuff. And so I guess, yeah, what are your aims from here in racing? And also, you know, you've got your pretty handy degree there as well that you're studying. So what are your aims for the future?
I'm like every other apprentice, we all want to outride our claim, obviously, in our time. So I do have that goal in mind, but I also would enjoy to be able to ride in Melbourne and Sydney before my time's up, and I become a senior, and obviously win a apprentices premiership in Brisbane.
Very good. Sounds like a pretty good ambition to have. Chris, it was a well-deserved win by Better Rush, wasn't it? And nice, I guess, to have that personal touch to the victory also with Olivia getting the chocolates.
Yeah, well, it was. I mean, look, Liv's a good young girl. She's started off, as she mentioned, with me back in 2017, just come in on fresh off the streets, working with the horses, and was a really good worker all along, had a good work ethic, and she went back to uni, and she's always come from a family that were into rodeos and barrel racing and whatnot. So she was keen to ride, but to watch her sort of develop under Barry Lockwood, who's done a terrific job with her, just to hold her back a little bit, I suppose, and give her a good bit of education and teach her to be patient. I think it's done wonderful things, and there's no doubt, you know, horses certainly run for her, and hence the reason she's riding so many winners.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you made of her as a rider. I guess you partly answered that, but obviously you're happy to give her opportunities riding track work of a morning, and then also been giving her a few jump outs recently also.
Yeah, well, she's a hard worker, and that's, you know, it's what you have to be. You've got to be a hard worker and prepared to put in the hard yards, and Liv was coming in riding work and probably not getting a lot of bean for a buck, so to speak. But when I had the opportunity to be able to give her a ride, it was good to be able to give her a winner, and she rode the horse very well.
And Olivia, I guess you know, whilst you're apprentice to someone else, pretty handy to have a Grand Slam winning jockey to share any tips he might of a morning when he might see something you could be doing better.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to have Chris just on the back burner. If I ever have any questions, he's always there to answer them, whether it's to do with race riding or if it's just to do with general track work.
Very good. Well, we wish you well. Great to hear more about your story, and we'll keep an eye out for you out riding in the future.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, good stuff, and congratulations to the connections of Better Rush there. It was a really well-deserved win, and well done also to the new owners who've joined the ownership group of your new purchase, Glamzell, who we spoke about last week. I believe she's been all snapped up, and a group of new owners finalised, including the team from Strong Bloodstock.
Yeah, well, they were quite happy, and they were decided to take a percentage of her, and the other percentage was taken up by stable clients of ours, and yeah, she was a very, very popular sale. So it was be nice to get her up here and have a look at her, and then we'll work out whether we give her a freshen up or whether we go to the races or where we go. But I'm actually looking forward to getting her up here.
Yeah, very good. We'll follow that with interest. And anyone who did miss out there, don't worry. There's still two-year-olds available on the Munce Racing website, so you can check them out under the horses available menu. All right, well, let's get into the weekend preview. There's a few runners from sort of Friday onwards, kicking off Friday at Ipswich, where Triptonic is entered for a Class 1 plate over the 1,200 metres. Barrier 1 for Justin Huxtable, and he's second up here after finishing 7th at midweek metro level last start.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a quick backup. I wouldn't normally do that, but looking forward, there wasn't a lot of options for this guy. So the fact that he drew well, I decided that we probably should go around. He's drawn well. And the other day when Justin rode him, he had to get too far back from an awkward draw to get in. And it was basically a sit and sprint. And he was left flat footed when they sprinted at about the 400, 500 metre mark. So I think from a good draw, he'll be able to race in a more competitive spot position and hopefully not have as much ground to make up. There should be a good gallop. And he's actually going quite well, this horse. And as I say, if he's handled the quick backup, he'll be certainly more than competitive in a race like this.
Okay, very good. Well, good luck to BK Racing and Breeding there with Triptonic. Murwillumbah hosts a feature meeting also on Friday, where Super Bowl Sunday goes around in the Newmarket over the 1,200 metres. He's a last start winner, top-rated horse in the field, and in turn is the top weight for this. Second favourite in the market around 360, and excited to see him in the Newmarket.
Yeah, oh, look, it was just he's a horse that's sort of at that level. Probably not. I didn't think he was well weighted, I've got to say. You know, he went up quite harshly in the ratings after just a win at Caloundra on a Sunday. But it just goes to show the depth of the race. It can't be that strong. He's got a little bit of weight to carry, but I think he's drawn quite nicely. And as long as the track doesn't become rain affected, he'll take his place down there, and he'll race well as he normally does.
I'm sure he will. So good luck to the Henderson Racing guys there. We then move over to Eagle Farm on Saturday, where there's two runners heading there. The first of those being Royal Sheen. Kathy Munce owned, lines up in the 1 Metro win handicap over the 1,400 metres. Barrier 7 for Jaden Lloyd, who claims the 3 kilos, so gets in well with just 51 kilos, and was obviously a bit of a travesty last start. It was a good run, wasn't it? But no luck in the straight whatsoever.
Yeah, he had no luck. He was just starting to build his momentum up and get into a bit of a strong gallop to finish off his race, and just got stopped in his tracks, and he only got beaten a length or so. So he's in good form. He's very fit, and you know, Jaden's just going to have to give him a good competitive ride from that tricky draw the first part of the race, and I'm sure he'll finish off quite strongly for us.
Look for the flashing grey to be getting home. Kavak is the other runner in race 5, which is the Colts Geldings and Entice Class 3 plate over the 1,200 metres. Similar race to last start when he finished 3rd at Doomben and got the chocolates for those who took advantage of the Unibet Place price push. He rates well here, you'd think, mate, particularly with the 3 kilo claim from Jaden.
Yeah, he does. He's also nominated for Ipswich next Wednesday, and I'm still sort of undecided where he'll definitely go. He has drawn quite well on Saturday at Eagle Farm, but I've just got to consult with the owners as to whether we run there or whether we wait for Wednesday at Ipswich. But he's certainly training on quite well, and he's in a race that suits.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on scratchings there. We then head over to the Gold Coast Saturday, where Dash for Dreams is entered. Also a dual acceptor for the Sunshine Coast on Sunday. The Gold Coast race is a Class 3 handicap over the 1400. Obviously an inform mare who's a last start winner at Class 2 level over the 1350.
Yeah, well, she's going really well, and she was ridden very well by Justin the other day and went on to win. So just drawn a little bit tricky at the Gold Coast, and obviously at Caloundra, she's drawn that little bit better, although it's a harder race. So I've probably just got to sit down and do the form a bit closer as to where we go. But the fact that she's in good form, when you've got a mare like that, it's you go to the races with a bit of confidence about them.
Yeah, sure. So drawn barrier 4 at Caloundra on Sunday in a Class 4 handicap over the 1300 metres. So once again, we'll keep an eye on scratchings there over the weekend. The other 2 runners entered for the Sunshine Coast, Kitty Kitty Bang Bang and Southern Stock. Kitty's entered for a Fillies and Mares maiden over the 1,000 metres. First up here for the All Ladies Syndicate, headed by Steph Watkins. Lightly raced mare who's showed you a bit of ability last prep. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, she has. And look, she'll probably get out to a 1,400 a mile later on, but I think fresh, she's had a couple of nice little jump outs and trial, and she'll sport blinkers on Sunday, which I think she's been wanting for quite some time. And I just think the big track like Caloundra, she'll travel strongly and she'll look a winning chance at some stage of the straight. Obviously, fitness is a little bit of a question mark, but she's not a big, robust type of mare. And, I think she comes to hand quite nicely. So, she's probably one that's going to go to the races, and I would like to think that sort of grade be competitive.
Okay, very good. Hopefully we can hear the caller mentioning Kitty Kitty Bang Bang in a positive position on Sunday. We then move over to Southern Stock, who's entered for the a maiden handicap for the boys over 1,200. He's a 3-year-old Tavistock gelding who's first up here and drawn out wide for Larry Cassidy, barrier 17.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure whether I'll run him now from that draw. It's his first start in a race, and I don't like sort of taking him to the races and they have a bad experience. So I'll probably talk to his owner, Mr. Reed, and probably recommend we wait for another day. But he's a nice horse. He's a Tavistock, as you mentioned, and he's probably going to get out over about 2,000 metres later on as he gets a bit older, more mature. But as I said, from the 17 gate, I just can't see that ending pretty. And he's not a horse he's going to need a little bit of time to strengthen and get over ground, I think, anyway.
Very good. All right. Well, a few runners over the weekend. So good luck to Connections and good luck to yourself and the stable, mate.
Good on you. Thanks, Adam.